I apologize for the rest of the episode. The number 13 has long occupied a paradoxical position in superstition, religion, and esoteric tradition. Widely regarded as a number of misfortune and dangerous power, it is simultaneously revered in occult systems as a number of profound transformation, destiny, and sacred feminine energy.
Hi, I'm Desiree.
And I'm Myriah.
We're two sisters with a love of storytelling
and the paranormal. And you're listening to
As the Crow Flies.
Hello, everybody.
Hello and happy birthday, Myriah!
Thank you.
Our grandparents, I was on the phone with them, and they're like, Mariah's gonna be 30, right? And I was like, 33? And they're like, no, she's only gonna be 30. I'm like, 1993, 2026.
Well, seeing as I'm going to be 32, she's definitely older than me. So
Yeah, for sure. At least by 1 year.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's weird being in our 30s, but here we are killing it.
Yep. Killing it. We're still not killed.
Yep.
Wonderful.
That's always great.
So yeah, it was a nice chill celebration it's been so far. I've got some wonderful stuffed animals from my children's because they and Nate just keep asking me like, what do you want? What do you want? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And so I have like this huge oversized bear from Gabe and this like weighted Labrador puppy toy from Jackson that he's already trying to demand shared custody of. So that's fun.
I love when kids that age give gifts because they totally pick the gifts that they want for themselves, and then they inevitably try to weasel it away from you, and
Yep.
then I just end up being like, oh my gosh, whatever, take it.
It's funny. It reminds me too of last Christmas or the Christmas before. Their school has this little like quarter market that they'll set up a bunch of donations, and then the kids just bring a quarter and they get to pick out a gift for a quarter to give to a family member. And Jackson fully just picked out 3 gifts for himself, put like because that's what he understood it as. Put them in bags for mom, Gabe, and Nate, or like dad, and then gave them to us to open. And he's like, oh yay. And like mine was a little wooden puzzle board that has like doors that you can open with different, like one is a latch chain and one is like a hook latch. And I was like, thanks. And then he just takes it. I don't even remember what the other ones were, but they were fully for him.
That's amazing.
So I'll enjoy our shared toy, and for as long as he lets me.
Yeah, until he fully claims it as his.
And then we'll just fight for it. We've got several other custody battles going on already.
So we're coming in a little bit behind, but unintentionally there was a really cool realization that Myriah had.
Yeah, totally not very planned, very not last minute.
Right.
But I realized that this week was going to be our 13th episode. My birthday, of course, is on the 13th of July, which is also like really fun when it falls on a Friday and everyone's like, oh my God. And I'm like, I'm going to go get a tattoo.
Yep. Your Friday the 13th cupcake tattoo.
If I didn't have to contort myself, I'd show everybody. Maybe I'll pull a Des and put a picture here. But yeah, and so I was like, oh, it's going to be the 13th episode on the 13th. I'm turning 33. Like it all just felt very like everything was aligning. And I've always just like had an interest in those kinds of things. So I figured why not lean into it and learn a little bit more about numerology and the significance and meaning of different numbers and how they align in people's lives and all of that. So
Yes, and I have
yeah,
not read ahead at all. I've been good, so.
good. I did also I went into it too like fully invested on the 13 and then I just fell into the rabbit hole and I was like, "Oh, well what about this?" And then, well, this number aligns with something else and I wonder what Desiree's are. And so it's a full thing.
Great, I'm here for it.
Also, I realized as I'm getting into all of this, so I found a ton of great resources and since I am not super familiar with all of these things myself, am just kind of reading through the different resources that I found. So, not my own words, but we will have everything linked and in our sources at the end in the show notes. Highly recommend, as always, looking through those if you have any curiosity of your own. So, to get started, just I guess a little bit of backstory on 13 and some of its ties to different spiritual beliefs. We have 13 in tarot and in esotericism, not related to tarot, but anyways,
Oh.
in the major arcana of the tarot, the 13th card is death. Probably also plays into that. 13 is this like
Mm.
scary, unlucky number. But contrary to popular belief and fears, when the death card is pulled upright, so like just head where it's supposed to be, the card signifies transformation, endings, and rebirth rather than actual death. And when it's drawn in reversed, so if it's like upside down, it may indicate stagnation, upheaval, decay, or resistance to change. So just kind of like, you know, crossing your arms to that transformation that likely is inevitable or could be beneficial to your life, whatever. Not necessarily pulling the card and being like, car crash, gonna die, it's over. It's got some more meaning behind it.
I think it's really cool to understand the meanings of those different tarot cards because, yeah, at face value, that's a scary card. And then it's like, actually, it could mean rebirth, or it
Yeah.
could mean like you're just kind of like not flatlining in like the sense
Plateau.
flatlining.
Yeah.
Yeah, plateauing, that's a better word. Um,
That, or even like in my mind, I think of it as like death of an era almost. Like
mm,
this chapter is coming to an
mhm,
end, to a natural death. And with the closing of that door, you're going to come into a new era, a new chapter of life. And so it may be finality, but not without moving into something else, whatever that
mhm,
is going to be. And so, despite its ominous reputation and, with superstition, 13 holds a positive and powerful role in esoteric traditions as well. It's regarded as the number of mystical manifestation and cosmic law. And it's also the sacred number of the great goddess, which goes back to tarot, reflected in the 13 lunar cycles of the year. And so that
oh.
also plays into the like feminine energy and power and strength associated with that number. Moving on from tarot, I also came across mention of the I Ching. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It is Mandarin, translating usually to the Book of Changes or Classic of Changes. It is an ancient Chinese divination text that is among the oldest of the Chinese classics. In the I Ching, 13 is represented by its number 13 hexagram, which symbolizes fellowship or harmony with people. It means the ability to organize and work together in a productive way with others, especially by releasing mistrust and suspicion and being honest and kind with one another, bringing success.
Interesting.
We also have some significance in Hinduism. In the Hindu tradition, the number 13 holds a deep spiritual significance, particularly concerning death and mourning. After a person's death, Hindus believe that the soul lingers around the house for 13 days. During
Oh.
this period, the family observes a mourning phase, mourning, Mourning, refraining from various daily activities as a sign of respect and remembrance. On the 13th day of this phase, a ritual known as the Shraddha or the Teravin is performed. The ritual is believed to help the soul transition from the earthly realm to the afterlife, allowing it to move towards the holy abode. The number 13 in this context symbolizes the completion of the mourning period and the beginning of the soul's spiritual journey. So, playing again back into that, this time, death in a literal sense, but not an actual end,
Right.
moving into the new phase.
Mm-hmm.
This practice is not limited to Hinduism. Similar rituals are observed in Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, religions that share common roots with Hinduism. For instance, Buddhists also observe rituals after death, although the specifics may vary based on cultural practices. Jainism and Sikhism, which emphasize the cycle of birth and rebirth, also incorporate rituals to aid the soul's journey after death, often marking important days in mourning. So it's just as I continued to come across these different spiritual beliefs, it was just really cool. Doesn't even feel like the right word, but it was just really awesome to see so many things like aligning across different global communities and cultures,
Yeah.
whether that was intentional or it's just as a human race, we all fall into these like similar patterns, I guess, or like
Mhm.
wavelengths. And it's just really awesome to see that overlap with each other as you learn more about the world.
Well, yeah, and I feel like we've noticed this a few different times in some of the
Mhm.
things that we've discussed. And it's like, well, how can they think this over here? And then they also think this over there. And then we're talking about these ancient religions that were kind of like developed a really long time ago.
Mhm.
But then there's still these overlaps that we see. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and, like, almost at face value when you're looking into stuff, like, just on a very superficial level, it's like, these people are so different from these people and the way that they do things, and then just kind of, like, falling back to this very base level, like, humanity of, like, but we are very much the same in so many different ways.
Mhm.
So, moving on from some of the more positive aspects, again, 13 is very related to like ideas of misfortune and bad luck. And so naturally, we have a name for that. The fear of the number 13 is known as triskaidekaphobia, which is
Mhm.
just a mouthful.
Mhm.
But it's been regarded as unlucky because, like, among other reasons, it can be considered unstable, lying just past the number 12, which apparently is traditionally associated with divine order and perfection. I don't know what's so special about 12.
I'll have to tell Audrey.
Oh, yep. It's very special, Audrey. July 12th, maybe.
Interesting that
But
they call it unstable.
yeah. Well, so they gave some examples too, though, which I guess kind of make a little bit of sense. But then I get into this whole idea of like, well, who decided that that was the ultimate number for the like?
Hmm.
Don't let me go on. Let me speak, but don't let me go down
Stop.
that rabbit hole. So some of the examples that they gave aligning with this like divine perfection were the 12 signs of the zodiac. I have heard that there's 13. The 12 hours of day and night, and then 12 tribes of ancient Israel. I haven't heard of that before, so don't ask me too many questions on that one, but apparently that was also a significant number in that aspect. They also added, so moving away from the 12 and back to 13 is horrible. In Christian symbolism,
Shun.
yes, shun the non-believer.
All of you 90s babies, you should get that one.
But so moving into Christian symbolism, the number 13 apparently echoes the Last Supper from the Bible, which was attended by Christ and his 12 apostles. Judas, who was the betrayer in this scenario, was the 13th to arrive and sit at the table, and he was the first to leave the table. And so, as a result, this is a common superstition also that 13 people dining together invites misfortune. And I
Hmm.
have, if there are any Harry Potter fans, that is a trope from, I think, maybe one of the later books, like the fifth book, maybe, or the sixth book, where there are 13 dining in the Weasley's house, and the first one to leave ends up betraying Harry to Voldemort
Oh.
and leads to their group being found. Also, forever a Harry Potter fan,
Mm.
but fuck J.K. Rowling. Just needed to put that out there. Anyways,
Back to numbers.
numerology. So, beyond the spiritual, I guess, religious beliefs, numerology is a big practice. I don't know.
Well, quite literally translates to the study of numbers.
Yeah, the study of numbers, then. That actually makes sense. So, jumping into 13, since that's where we're starting, the in numerology, the core essence or meaning of the number 13 is revealed by separating the multi-digit number down to its single digits. So that leaves us with 1, 3, but then also combining those digits 4. And that's what's going to make up the significance of this number. So the meaning of number 1 is that's going to represent self-reliance. It goes about its own business. So when they're throughout this article, they're referring to the numbers as like it a
It.
lot. So when I'm saying it, the number 1,
Go off, queen.
it pursues its own goals and has no need for companionship. It is independent, self determined, and self sufficient. I
Fuck
am
that bitch.
the one. So the number's energy resonates with an urge to explore new ideas, ways of doing things, and physical locations, which may include seeing if existing machinery or methods can accomplish more than they are now expected to with a change here or there. So, kind of like evolving also in like getting the most utilization and efficiency out of things. In my interpretation, it seems to kind of be the trailblazer, the first one on the path, coming across its own destiny and figuring shit out on your
And actively trying to improve,
yeah, not
adapting.
settling with like, this is what it is and this is what people have told me this is
Right.
for. What can I do with this? So then we have the number 3. 3 is about creative self expression for others to observe and appreciate. It's especially adept with visual and auditory artistic expression. This creative self expression is more prolific and more satisfying when 3 is in ready communication with others who are also creative, or if they're in the vicinity of others' creative expressions. So, kind of submersing themselves in a creative environment or
Mhm.
around creative people in a social setting just kind of like amplifies and builds up that feeling.
It's like when you're at a paint and sip.
Exactly. Yeah. Let the juices flow.
Yeah,
The paint and
the drink.
the libation. Yeah, the paint and the
I just be
drink.
drinking.
So the number 3 is social. It supports and encourages the creative expression of others, and their energy includes imagination, effective communication. I think that's important. Effective communication, tolerance, joyfulness, optimism, and dynamism.
Hmm. Dynamism.
I looked up some definitions, but this was not one of them. So, dynamism is the quality of being characterized by vigorous activity and progress.
Dynamic.
Ah, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Dynamite.
You know what's funny? Number four's meaning is focus. Whoops. Uh,
Lame.
Anyways, And I'll get into also, so when I pulled like stuff for me and Des, I pulled our individual numbers and stuff. Not a single one of us had a 4 in our life positions or anything.
Makes total sense. Here's another. I'm going to go back to where we were at before.
Please.
Do you remember that? Was it a J.C. Penney commercial where the girl was standing outside and she'd go, "Open, open, open" to the thing,
Oh
to the
god, I don't
door,
remember which store it was, but I do
or
remember that.
Kohl's or something? Yeah. Anyways, I do that, but with focus. Whenever I'm not focused, I go focus, focus, focus.
Oh my god, I might need to start using that. But I feel like it's gonna quickly devolve into hocus pocus pocus.
Focus,
It's
focus,
already.
focus.
I need a Ford Focus.
Back to focusing.
Yes. Maybe we should skip that number.
Yeah, that
Um,
sucks.
anyways, number 4 is focus. So, the focus on methodical building of a foundation upon which the future can manifest with security, which brings pragmatism and conscientiousness. That's a hard one to say.
Mhm.
For any like me who are not fully, like you've got the idea of what the word means in context, but I wanted to make sure I really like understood what I was talking about. Pragmatism is a practical approach to problems and affairs, and then or conscientiousness is exercising attentive care to avoid errors or omissions, or concerned with doing something correctly, meticulously, and carefully.
Yeah,
So
careful always comes to mind when I think of conscientious. Like
yeah,
you're
like
paying
very
close,
much
careful attention.
crossing your T's and dotting your I's and going back a second and third time and like, okay, I'm done. Am I done?
Am I
Um,
done well?
yes. Everything but the steak.
Medium for sure.
Anyways, focus.
Ugh.
There also brings dependability, productivity, punctuality, trustworthiness, loyalty, and patience. They had me until punctuality.
I'm not punctual on anything
Nope.
ever.
4 tends to be practical and likes to have its facts straight before beginning a project. That is definitely important. Um, important, not necessarily relatable. It generally can handle money well and tends to keep resources in reserve.
I see
That's one
why
of
I
those
didn't
like
have one of these.
I try. I try. I like to think I can handle money well. Like I'm not necessarily scrounging, but I could do much better.
Yeah. I go into life with the best of intentions.
Yeah. Intentions, yes. Outcome.
Yeah.
We just put a blanket over that and walk away. 4 tends to be conservative and protective with a strong sense of dignity and worthiness. I almost said worthlessness.
Worthlessness.
With a strong sense of dignity and worthiness. Its rewards come because of patience, service, persistence, hard work, and dependability. So, definitely a good one to have in your corner. I can see, though, why we don't have a 4 to split between the two of us.
Yeah.
And as much as I feel like I relate to 13, I don't feel like I hold that fit anywhere near close. So, once I got past 13, I became the curious critter that I am and wanted to know more about me. I was just gonna say Mariah and Desiree. Me and Des. Before I go into that, though, there were a few specific numerology positions that are used to help interpret or like determine your numbers. And I wanted to go over the definitions of those. That way we had a better understanding of like what we're talking about and how those numbers get interpreted based on these different positions. So first was the destiny position. This is apparently calculated from the letters of your birth name, and the destiny number relates to the person you know yourself to be now and the person you tend to become more of or will evolve into. Next, we have the heart's desire. This is calculated from the vowels of your birth name, and it indicates what the person's foundation is likely to be. what drives you, what you strive for, or the most compelling lifelong inner urge. And this indicates that which is closely aligned with what that person senses is their purpose in life. The next one is the personality position. This is calculated from the consonants of your birth name, and this provides a clue to the real you. It indicates what you are likely to welcome wholeheartedly and also what you're likely to screen out or kind of like put blinders onto. It's a number representing an aspect of your true nature. And the life path position, this is calculated from the numbers of your birth date. And it represents the energies that affect the tone of experiences as you live life. So, whatever's thrown at you, what are you kind of interpreting that as, or like how are you using that as a lesson moving forward? Are you kind of feeling defeated about it and like downtrodden, or are you taking this and turning it into a lesson that you can grow from and kind of benefit from?
How do you calculate the numbers for your birthday? I'm trying to figure out how you got 33. I'm looking ahead now. Sorry.
So it's each individual digit. So 7/13/1993, you're going to add
Oh.
7 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 3. And then
Okay.
I think usually when you get into like multi digits for an answer, then you condense that down. So then 3 plus 3.
Uh,
However, apparently 33 is a master number. And so they didn't condense that down. For Myriah, since we're in the public eye, I'll let you know my full name. Myriah Lee, Colorado, is my birth name. 7/13/1993. I will not give you my social security number. Fuck off.
Shoot.
Yeah. What is your financial destiny number? So my numbers came to be 8, 1, 7, and 33. So that's destiny, heart's desire, personality, and life path. For destiny, number 8, this person's destiny tends to be one of material accomplishment that gives them authority, money, recognition, and or professional position. That seems kind of out there for me because I don't tend to seek like authority positions.
Nope.
I like to know what I know and like be confident in that, but I don't want to manage or direct. I just anyways. So for the number 8 destiny, personal satisfaction seems to be greatest when goals are accomplished with the good of others in mind. That did very much track for me. So then I kept reading. Then I was like, okay, I'm back in. Depending on education and experience, this person may be comfortable with finances, a master on many or all levels of management, and or authority on business. They tend to be most successful with big business and nearly always win when keeping a broad outlook and admitting no limitations. They are likely to be an effective organizer. They tend to be strong, efficient, dominant, sociable, and inclined to demonstrate their certainty of themselves. So, Des, how do you feel that aligns with me? Because other than that little bit of good with the others in mind,
The effective organizer made me chuckle because I always think of all of your craft stuff.
I was gonna say if I'm not gonna fuck up my computer connection to my camera, I would show you the effective organization sitting around me right now. I
Yeah.
can't say though. I will leave stuff where it is, and then if you ask me where that hair tie is,
Yes.
I'll tell you to pick up that shirt on the left side of the room
Uh-huh.
underneath the teddy bear. But if you've hit the cow, you've gone too far. And then that's where the blue
I
hair tie will be.
I think that's an ADHD thing, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like organized chaos. I remember one time specifically, Tyler's like, "Have you seen my hat?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's under the bed on your side, towards the back, next to I think it was like my shirt or something." And he just looks at me. He's like,
Why do you know that?
and he's like, "If you saw it under there, why didn't you pick it up?" And I was like, "Cause I saw it under there and I was looking for something else." I was
But
just
also,
like,
then I wouldn't know where it was
yeah,
because then I find myself going through these like organization days or whatever. I'll just get into like what I call a cleaning mood, And then I put stuff where I think it's supposed to be, and then I will spend so long searching for it because I'm like, it's always been here, and
Yeah.
why is it all of a sudden when I find it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, but it was never my first like
Yeah.
inkling of where to look for it. Going back to like when mom was like, oh, use that salve on your bruise because it'll help it heal, and I was like, I looked everywhere I think I could have thought it would have been, couldn't find it, and then I was looking for stuff to like fix some of my nails the other day, and I was like, oh, here it is. Also, couldn't tell you why. Maybe it's just because it had like that
Yeah.
perfect little size for it to fit into, and I was like, oh, it'll go here, and then it won't be out on my desk.
Yeah.
And I lost it for who knows how long.
Bad move, man. The the sociable also made me chuckle.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught my facial expressions reading through that, but I was just like, ooh, maybe past life. I don't know how much that hits me now. Some of the rest of these, though, they did feel a bit more Mariah. Also, I couldn't tell you why this is a thing, but I have a fondness for certain numbers. Eight is not one of them.
Oh,
When I'm turning up like volumes or in stuff,
yeah. Ugh.
uh, it's 0, 3, 5, 8 just because it has to be in there. I'll explain in a minute. And then 10. So it's got to be like multiples of 5, but then sometimes that's too loud, and so I'll
Ugh.
pull it back 2 and then I'll drop 3. And then I'll pull it
Yeah.
back 2 and then I'll drop 3. Love the number 3 and 7. Don't give me a 2. So anyways, 8's in there, but they were like the last pick.
It's like out of obligation, obligatory, honorable
And
mention.
Gable turned stuff up to like 21 or something and then just side eye me and wait for me to turn it back down or up. And I'm just like, you motherfucker. I don't know
He's
why I
like,
bugged
watch
you.
this, guys.
Yeah,
You won.
but it does bother me. Hannah used to do that shit to me too. Because she was also like, there's no reason for this to really bother you. And I'm like, but it fucking does.
Yeah, but it does. Rah.
So moving on from 8, very uncomfortable right now. The next number was the heart's desire. This was number 1 for me. So we had a little bit of an interpretation, like the general sense for the number 1. But when they align with like these heart desire numbers, personality numbers, they have a little bit of a different like flair to them. So I'm going to go through that again. A person with a heart's desire number 1 is likely to experience an urge for self reliance, a strong need to be self sufficient and to direct their own life. They are inclined to be independent at heart, to be the determiner of their own goals, and to reach them by their own effort and intelligence. It's likely to be a perpetual motivation. They generally realize it is action that accomplishes the things they feel compelled to acquire or reach. This energy attracts many things that appeal and might be pursued for gain. The volume of the opportunities tends to be distractive. So many things to explore for feasibility. People with this heart's desire number are apt to be loyal in friendship, fair in business, and, if in that position, a safe leader. I definitely giggled at the volume of opportunities tends to be distractive because I couldn't tell you the amount of things on my list of like wants and like
Yeah.
interests and whatever, and constantly like telling myself I've got this like cyclical cycle of hobbies that I'm like, oh, like I could get into silversmithing because I love jewelry. I love making jewelry. I've done like beaded and wired jewelry. I could make so much more if I could smith my own jewelry. I do have some silversmithing supplies in our garage. Also, glass, stained glass, and I have recently entertained the idea of getting like a
Tile.
mini microwave kiln to do
Oh, the
melted.
layered glass stuff?
Yeah, or just like almost like a mosaic, but then you melt it together. So you don't
Yes.
have to have some other whatever. Then you have a big pane of glass that's been melted. Also mosaics. And also all of the things.
All of the
And
shiny things.
and then the novelty will wear off a little bit and like I'm kind of interested in it still, but then I'm like, oh, but crochet, oh, but painting, oh,
Yeah.
but this, and it's like more than a hobby but not enough to get to that point of like pursuing lifelong. But
Right.
would I? Like, just all these thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
And so this one, yeah, this whole explanation was just kind of like, oh no, it's like looking in a mirror and like
I
just
feel
laughing.
attacked.
Yeah, personal attack. So the next number is personality number, and I had a 7 for this. So intelligent, dignified, introspective, and analytical. This person tends to have an innate wisdom and to be an admirer of quality. They tend to appear dignified. Also, I loved they tend to appear dignified and poised,
But they're not.
intellectual, and somewhat aloof. And I got the definition for aloof as not friendly or willing to take part in things. And I have a whole story for that in a second.
I
But so
always
again,
thought aloof was different.
I thought it was like spacey.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, but so they tend to appear dignified and poised, intellectual, and somewhat aloof. When first meeting someone, they appear hard to know, but are friendly and they are a good talker when better acquainted. They emit a strong sense of self-knowledge. While discussing familiar topics, they are generally convincing and appear at ease. People with this personality number tend to have a keen sense of perfection and to be perceptive and astute. This one, I pulled up the definition, having or showing shrewdness and an ability to notice and understand things clearly, or being mentally sharp and clever. They also tend to be intellectual, scientific, philosophical, and deeply intuitive, and they seem to possess a reliable ancient wisdom. Going back to aloof really quickly,
Yeah.
so it just made me again giggle, and I had this like memory of being in JROTC in 10th grade. So when Nicole and I lived in Grand Prairie,
Yeah.
and like the one year that we didn't go to MacArthur High School, I had Sergeant Rios was they gave us this assignment to kind of do a about us like essay, and then we had to present that essay to the JROTC class, and I was like, fuck. Don't like speeches. Like, I'm comfortable with this because I feel like I'm just talking to my sister, and then I
Yeah.
just put it into the world and pretend nobody's seeing it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
talking to me about it. But also, please let me know you listen. But so in part of that speech, I mentioned like sometimes feeling like people think that I'm stuck up because I don't make the effort to like have the first point of contact, or I'm not very sociable because I'm shy, not because I don't want to be around people. Sergeant Rios, bless his heart, I loved him. I didn't have anything against him, but he was very like cut and dry, no BS. And he stopped me in the middle of my speech in front of the class, and he's like, "I'm sorry, hold on. I just had to say I definitely had that feeling about you that you just didn't want anything to do with anybody. And like it's so interesting to hear you say that you're shy and like nervous to make those connections and not
And
that you
not a
just don't
stuck up
want to."
bitch.
Yeah, basically. And I was just like, uh,
I'm gonna go
okay.
throw up now.
Yeah. And so then I had to finish my speech. But like
Oh,
that's always stuck with me as just like I didn't realize that I came off that way, and internally was just, I mean, still somewhat have this struggle of like, do I, what do I say first? Am I gonna sound stupid? Like maybe they
oh,
don't even want
always,
to
100%
talk
I
to
do.
me, and like so I don't want to bother anybody, and so I just won't. I won't make that effort to communicate
Yeah,
first, and I'll wait for somebody else to do it, not thinking further that they might also be thinking the same thing, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess this girl just like wants nothing to do with me, and so we just
yeah.
won't talk. And then I go home and I'm like, oh, but they seem like such a cool person.
Kicking yourself for
So
not
yeah,
talking to them. Yeah.
uh,
I
so
always remember in elementary school, especially in Texas, when there were so many people in those freaking schools.
many 30 kids in a single
Yeah.
classroom was normal, and that wasn't the size of the grade, that was just that single class.
Uh huh. And I just remember because I was so uncomfortable making eye contact with people, I would cross my arms and I would look down at my feet and watch, and I would step in these certain tiles on the floor. And I was just watching that so that I didn't have to make forced, uncomfortable eye contact with somebody. And I remember someone said, I always just thought you were mean because you walk with your arms crossed and you don't look at anybody. And I was just
Hmm.
like, no, that's just because I'm fucking scared, bro. Like,
Yeah, like a subconsciously like trying to make yourself smaller. And
yes.
and then I don't know if like the for you if it like aligns, but like in walking in the specific tiles, almost like I have control of this. I
Yeah.
also know the outcome, like just that sense of control and what is the word? Like
Predictability.
yes, predictability. And so you're just trying to give yourself some path or instruction manual mentally, but then you're so focused on that that you're not
Yeah.
paying attention to like the image that you're putting out. And I mean like what elementary school kid really is. They're like just trying to get by. And especially since we moved around so often that like we were frequently the new kid. It was just
Yeah.
that was eye opening to see like that definition of aloof and then to like really
Yeah.
actually relate it back and be like I have and like not just by Sergeant Rios, I have had that feedback by several people and I'm like as an adult try to work on that and try to let what I feel inside be more visible or like take the step outside of my comfort zone to make that first connection and like I do
Yeah.
really want to like encourage this relationship, this friendship or whatever, and so I'm gonna throw up but I'm gonna do this.
Yeah. I'm definitely the more social one of us,
Hmm.
out of the two of us.
Very. If you
Not,
ask anybody,
yeah.
Desiree was the social butterfly and Mariah was the fly on the wall.
And I'm a talker to, like, I'm very uncomfortable with silence.
Oh yeah,
So,
also me, but I won't break it.
oh yeah, silence makes me so uncomfortable where I'm like, all right, Desiree, you got to say something. Who cares how stupid it is? Just say something.
Hmm.
And I I have tried to make it a point to go out of my way and like introduce myself to new people, and because I've gotten the feedback too of like, I thought you were a snobby bitch because you like this all the time and don't talk to people.
Yeah, I'm just scared shitless.
Yeah. And we had this one of the girls on my softball team brought her friend to come play, and I I also will replay interactions in my head and be like, Desiree, you fucking weirdo. Like,
So,
I
so
just
many.
I went up to this girl and I said, you came with Vic? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, what's your name? And she said her name. And I was like, hi, I'm Desiree. Walked away. Didn't
Oh well, that's all I wanted to say.
That's it.
Oh,
Just now I did the thing. See ya.
yeah. In your mind, the checklist is complete, and that was a successful social interaction.
And then afterwards, and then I had to play this whole softball game, and I'm like,
An
you didn't
idiot.
even say anything to her. Like, you should have stayed and made small talk. Like, how's the weather today? No, just this is who I am. Bye.
Yep. Oh god. I that's the kind of thing too. Like I don't find myself starting those interactions, but I very much will like, what did you say to that cashier? Or like oh, somebody at the door or somebody like on the phone because I've done customer service for my entire life, really.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like me to me, bitch, what? Why would you
Why
say
did you
that?
say
Or like
that?
it's like a joke that Des would get, but like it's weird as fuck. And like, why
Yeah.
would you say that to a normal person?
I'm gonna go crawl back under my rock now.
Yeah. And then for the next 5 years, randomly, I'll be in the kitchen or like trying to lay down, and then my brain will go, "What the
You're
fuck is
so
wrong with you?"
stupid.
And then I'm just like, "Please stop! I tried." Oh, yeah. I feel like we're like as we grow up too, and I mean, like we've always talked, but as we like talk, we're learning that we're like two sides of the same coin
Yeah.
almost, and we've just got different flavors to our strangeness.
Yes. For sure.
Oh,
Mom and dad made
yeah.
some awkward people. At the aloof astute type.
That's great.
Love that for us.
So my last number was my life path number, and this was 33. And so when I didn't know that before deciding to do this 13 numerology episode.
That you're turning 33.
I'm 33.
That's me. I am that. We are it.
And then I blew smoke up my ass because 33 is a master number. And
But of course.
yeah, so the master number 33 is easily the most influential of all master numbers, perhaps the
Oh,
most influential of all numbers.
girl.
A person expressing the master number 33 generally is highly knowledgeable and checks pertinent facts before advocating an ideal. I like to think I do that.
Yeah.
The effort is to do that.
Depends. It depends on the situation.
But I definitely want to like save face before having the chance to like show my ass and like back something that I'm like, oh, like if I had taken an extra second to actually look into that, I'd realize that that was stupid.
But then,
Um,
like, when it comes to starting a new hobby, you just are like, yeah. And
yeah,
then you're like, oh shit, well, I need this. And now I need this. Like,
yeah.
so
If it just
both.
involves me, I'll just jump right in. But
Yeah.
like if I'm publicly backing something or
Yes.
like trying to talk to somebody, I'm like, oh yeah, you know this cool thing. I want to make sure that what I'm
Yeah.
talking about is like legit. So, the life path energy, represented by the number 33, is good at communicating the practical aspects of its proposal. Its influence generally is compelling in areas that affect peace, prosperity, and joy of life. So, I'm interpreting that as like putting that kind of like positive spin on something that they're trying to attain and need like support or want support on, and
Mhm.
to like show those aspects of their project to whoever they're talking to, like, look, it's so good because of
Yeah.
this. Although projects and goals generally are approached philosophically, they tend to be achieved to a greater degree and more quickly with a practical approach. Events and circumstances, either repetitively or persistently, tend to relate to family, healing, nurturing, and teaching, also harmony and responsibility. The person with the life path 33 tends to influence procedures and decisions with little or no personal agenda other than to guide and help. Their assistance tends to have a spiritual and idealistic element. Their idealistic vision generally is related to peace, happiness, work, or cultivating community.
Very cool.
For that, I definitely felt a connection.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of like one-on-ones that I've had with my like team lead for like the past several years now. We just our company does one-on-ones regularly because we're all remote, and so
Mhm.
it's a good way to stay connected. And so many times have just said for this specific job that I have and then past ones, my motivation really is just to help, to be a
Yeah.
helper. And so like I remember when I worked sales with ADT forever ago, I found my way from being like a qualifier, just answering the calls and like sending them to the right department, to
Hmm.
add-on sales somehow. Because once I got into sales, I mean, like I got okay commission. I was not the greatest salesperson because I would find myself on calls with these like little old ladies who didn't really understand the things that
Yeah.
they were being told by other teams, like that they needed to upgrade to. And getting more information, I'd be like, oh, like they have no idea what they're being sold or like what they're being told is necessary, and the way that they utilize the system, they wouldn't get any benefit out of this, like. And so sometimes I talk myself out of sales, but
Oh,
because I found myself talking to these people and wanting to make sure they were fully informed, or like helping them on a personal level and not a let me help you to
right.
the point of helping myself and then I'm going to back
Yes.
out of it. And like I still feel that in all of the positions that I've had, of just I want to help to the best of my ability, to help inform, to help educate, to help on a personal level. And like it is funny working in an area now where I deal with talking about sperm and masturbating all the time for work, like on a professional level. But I find that I am able to help so many people on like a one-to-one level that it's just so fulfilling, and it just leaves me feeling good at the end of the day
Right.
constantly. And I don't feel skeezy for like trying to push a sale on somebody,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like, okay, yes, I helped this person find a pair of pants, but like, am I really helping on a like deeper level? With that, I felt like this resonated a lot once I got to that point of that does seem like a pretty repeated pattern in my life.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that's where I came for myself. Moving on to Desiree, a quick overview before we get into each number. Her numbers came up as 3, 9, 3, and 1. So between the two of us, had a lot of threes and ones, which I thought was really cool.
I wonder how they calculated one for mine.
And that one was your life number again. So it's going to be, let's see, your birthday. Oh, okay. So 9141994 is 37. 3 plus 7 is 10. 1 plus
10.
0 is 1.
Ah, okay. Because I was like, what? Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So that's where we got that. And again, we've gone over one before, but once we get into it, like the life path aspect
Mhm.
adds a little bit of a different like interpretation or like spin on it. So we'll get there. But starting with Desiree's destiny number 3, this is associated with creative expression. There tends to be some, perhaps many, artistic endeavors: painting, decorating, sculpting, architecture, music, acting, etc.
Mhm.
As they express their artistic talents, sense of beauty, and a blend of sincerity and joy, they come closer and closer to fully living their destiny according to numerology calculations.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I it was so cool to kind of like get this like inside look to you also,
Yeah.
and like felt like a lot of it really aligned with who I know you as. This person is likely to be optimistic, tolerant, and an inspiration to others. They tend to be a social person and enjoy entertaining and being entertained. In social situations, they tend to carry themselves or be dressed in an artistic way that fits into, promotes, or sustains the ambiance. And especially after the kid's birthday party a few weekends ago, I
Oh.
like likes to entertain and be entertained. I was like, that, yes, like it's
Yeah.
not just like a one off. Like you, to me, you seem to like thrive in those. You're not in a social situation where everybody's unknown. It's like
Yeah.
family and
These are
friends,
my people. Yeah.
community. Yeah, that you pull together and you're just like, I love all of you. I want to be around all of you now for this
Yeah.
important whatever, or because I
Yeah.
just enjoy your presence.
Mhm. That's really cool.
And the coming closer to fulfilling your destiny
Yep.
through artistic expression, very much
Yeah.
like we have tattoos, but you have also on and off like considered like what would it be to like be an artist for like
Full
my
time.
profession, to
Yeah.
tattoo, or to just, I mean, spray painted the closet. But that is artistic expression, and maybe, emotional angst getting out too, but expressive
Yeah. Well,
outlets.
even the podcast to me is
Mhm.
a form of artistic expression because it's got us back into writing.
Yeah.
And Tyler will give me grief sometimes, and I know it's not for everybody, but the way I have to like write my, it's not a script, but it is a script. And he's like, "Why don't you ever look at the camera?" And I'm like, "Well, because I'm reading what I wrote." And he's like, "Well, why don't you just retell me the story like you just did? And you said that so good." And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I said like and like 5 million times. I don't say it as many times."
But it's like you want to put out something that not only like you know what you're talking about obviously, but you want to put out something that you feel is to that like caliber of quality of, yes, I know what I'm talking about, but I also want to put it eloquently or
Yes.
intelligently, or, yes, I said it this way, but this word would probably give it more meaning or more
Yeah.
significance. And so I do the same thing of like scripting not necessarily to read verbatim, but so I
Right.
know where I'm going. And so if I've
Yes.
thought this through, I don't forget that added flair or whatever that I
Yeah.
wanted to add in, like, in the moment. I might just like deer in
Yeah.
headlights, totally forget what I was trying to say. So moving on to your heart's desire. This is your number 9. The number 9 is likely to want to use their knowledge and experience for the well-being of humanity. You being a teacher, that felt
Teacher. Yeah.
very, yeah, very on the nose. This person tends to dream of a world with understanding, harmony, and trust as the norm.
Oh, could you
They are,
imagine?
what a world, what a world,
Yeah.
but in a good way. They are generally compassionate, creative, tolerant without prejudice, and give of themselves with selflessness. Humanitarianism is an innate characteristic. The
Huh.
energy representing this heart desire number resonates with a want or aspiration to be more effective or involved in philanthropic activities. The energy is focused on the welfare of humanity. Someone with this heart's desire number is inclined to be generous and benevolent, and to have a global consciousness. There is little, if any, critical judgment of lifestyles, societal expectations, religious beliefs, or political practices.
We were just talking about that.
Yep, we were. And it, like, it, yeah, it just all feels, it feels like I'm looking at you in words.
That's really cool.
Like, the want to connect and to, like, help for the better of your
Yeah.
community, not just, society as a whole on these huge major projects, but like your face to face students or peers or family. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you're always striving to take that next step to better everyone around you, not just
Wow.
because you want more for yourself, but because, the way I see it, you wouldn't feel fulfilled if you had more for yourself while
Yeah.
leaving everybody else behind.
Yep.
I don't know, it was just very, very fun and very beautiful for me to
Yeah.
kind of see that, and like to just be like, that's my sister.
Aw. That's really cool though.
So the next one we had is personality number, and Desiree was a 3. So that is interpreted as being opportunistic, again, creative, cheerful, and entertaining. They tend to have some intimate friends and many friendly acquaintances. Someone with this personality number is likely to be a natural host with the ability to cheer up even a lifeless party. Some or many of the guests may experience a desire to be intimate friends, drawn to the optimistic and positive outlook associated with the enthusiasm radiating from this person.
It's just because
And
I'm awkward and uncomfortable.
yeah, and they're like, "Oh, me too." In
You're
community,
uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. Let's be
we're
friends.
uncomfortable together. Let's make everyone uncomfortable.
That's how I made my friend Angelica at college orientation.
Oh my god.
We both went up to each other and we're like, we both seem like we're pretty uncomfortable here. Let's hang out. And we
Oh
were
my god.
such good friends all throughout college. And
That's
she would
awesome.
go home and talk to me. We were both commuters, and she lived on
Mhm.
the other side of the college than I did. So we would talk about each other all the time. And her boyfriend, now her husband, used to pick on her and tell her that he didn't think that I was a real person, that I was her imaginary friend at college because he never actually met me.
Yeah. No, I swear, like, she doesn't go to this school, but
Yeah.
my my best friend Desiree, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. And he's like, she's not real.
Oh my god. You're just making this up. Like, is she sitting next to you right now?
Yeah.
Okay, honey. But yeah, like, just kind of like picking up on that energy, and also, despite like us talking about having that, like, exterior of like, oh, don't approach, like, I
Yeah.
feel maybe now, or like how I've always seen you, has been that, like, light to a moth almost. Like, you seem very approachable and like somebody who would be okay, even if you don't know like the right words to say, or you don't have anything to say, just
Yeah.
somebody who could be with you through that experience, whether you talk or not, just a comfortable
Safe
place to
space.
land.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Ooh.
communication, the person is likely to elaborate creatively, preferring to overlook the drab and mundane. Creative self expression seems to be the person's modus operandi.
Oh,
Yeah, MO.
that's what that means.
Yeah.
I
That
thought
is.
it was short for motive.
Oh, Yamo. No, it's a particular way or method of doing something, especially one
You're
that's
an MO.
characteristic or well established. The way in which
Oh,
something
oh,
operates or works.
cool. I learned something new.
I just left it in there because I was like, oh, like MO seems so boring.
Yeah,
I'm glad I taught you something.
that's cool.
Going back to the like, you prefer to elaborate creatively reminds me of you talking about like scripting and
Oh, yeah.
wanting to put that flair on it. So the last number that we're going to explore, we're back to number one. So that was Desiree's life path number. And in case we didn't add it earlier or we missed it, we got to that from 37. 3 plus 7 equals 10. 1 plus 0, 1. Because, yeah, I didn't think about that until you asked it. And then I was like, how do you get back to 1? The life path energy represented by the number 1 resonates again with self reliance and independence. It tends to express itself along the lines of self sufficiency and individuality. The energy includes keen perception and good concentration. Also, originality, invention, and courage to pursue goals on their own initiative. Not you can like not letting the like not in a negative sense, not letting the idea of starting a podcast die and just
Yeah,
continue like I think we should do this. I think we should try this
yeah,
and for the betterment of both of us. But I I'm just so glad you ever even brought up the idea.
yeah,
And again, if it only ever continues to be me and you chatting about random shit on a random weeknight, like
yeah. So be it.
it's it's just been fun and it's something we felt like we could do and wanted to do. And we've learned even just creating the podcast and the graphics and learning how to edit and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, have learned so much along the way to get to this point to do it on our own.
yeah. Like completely from scratch, too. It's like,
Yeah,
that's like the coolest thing.
we are the editor, producer, designers, all of
Yeah.
it. The talent,
Oh.
ambition is a significant driving force. A person with a life path number 1 is frequently alone. I don't think this was a negative though, as I read
No.
more into it.
Yeah.
Um, Aloneness is comfortable because there's nobody interfering with their life and goals. The person generally feels they have and are all that they need. And again, it didn't feel like an arrogant way either. Just kind of
Yeah.
like, I know I can do this. I'm going to do this.
Well, it
And
makes me think about how we grew up a little bit.
mhm,
And then the fact that, like, I flew the nest at 17 and still finished high school and still went to college. And, like, I had my first, well, with my now husband, but like, we had our first place independently the week I graduated high school. Like,
yeah,
just all of those things of like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
yeah.
I'll get it done.
And I don't think it necessarily means like literally myself alone. It might even just
Yeah.
be like I do have some community support too, but first that's not going to be the first idea of like I need to ask so and so for this so we can get
Right.
to this. It is we as a unit
Yeah.
alone are going to figure this out and we will get there. And we have had help here and there when we need it, but I've never seen you as somebody who is like, "Oh, I can't do this because they won't put this down payment down for me," or like they aren't going to fund my wishes and stuff. It is I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it there's no second thought. I am going to figure this out,
Yep.
and you
Get it
have
done.
you can have and continue to do it that way.
Right.
As life is lived Events and circumstances tend to bring both challenges and opportunities to express free will, independence, and initiative. Some of those may be persistent, others may occur repetitively. So just kind of like the challenges come and come and come, and they don't knock you down or they
Yeah.
don't hold you down. The person tends to be keenly perceptive and have good concentration. Originality, invention, willpower, and courage are native to the life path one energy. The life path number one can attract a strong and individualized leadership position. If appointed a leadership position, this person is likely to demand the right to act according to their own ideas and convictions. If this position is an informal leadership, where the person's expertise or accomplishments have placed them in a position of esteem, they tend to do things according to their own preference, as they always have, and expect others to follow or not as they please. I'm going to
That,
continue on this path, and I hope
yeah.
you see that I'm right. But if you don't, I'm I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, that feels like, honestly, it feels like my last job was like, these are all these great things that we should be doing. You're not going to do them? Okay.
I'm
I'm going to keep
going.
doing them.
I'll be out here if you want to
Yeah.
jump in, catch the
Yep.
tailgate. You're pushing forward with
Yeah.
what you know to be the best path,
It
and
makes me think of like a lead by example kind of thing.
then just naturally people will follow, or they're
Yeah.
going to do their own thing, and they're going to flop on their ass.
No kidding, dude. This kind of reminded me of tarot cards where sometimes those things are like spot on, and when they are, it's really cool. And
Hmm.
sometimes they're right on the edge, and so you can kind of look into it a little bit, and
Hmm.
make some of those connections. That was really interesting. I'm glad that you took that detour.
I'm also just glad that this provides us the opportunity to do what we want and to like have that idea and be like, I'm going to follow this and, see where it takes us. And it's always ended up being interesting, wherever we end up. And so many times it just feels like it resonates so much.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of like tarot, like group tarot readings that I'll come across on like reels and stuff. And they're like, take what resonates and leave the rest.
Yeah.
It's we're all individuals too, and so I don't think any one of us is ever going to have a textbook come out and lay out exactly who
Yeah.
we are. We're going to make paths that veer off the expected route, and that makes us ourselves. None of us is going to be pulled out of a book and that's who you are. So it was just really cool to kind of see that and to feel so much of it hit both of us.
And I also love that we decided to take this adventure on of doing a podcast, because then it gives us the freedom to like, and not that we didn't have it before,
Hmm.
but now we are taking our freedom to do what we want and share it with other people, which is pretty cool. And it
Yeah.
makes me think of like Ash and Elena, how when they started Morbid, they felt like they were in this certain category, and that almost like they had to give themselves permission a little bit to step outside of that category. And then they were like,
Hmm.
but it's our show. We can talk about what we want.
Yeah.
We can do what we want. Like,
I saw that with like ladies and tangents too. You start something and you put these parameters on it yourself because you're like, I need these parameters to make sure that I'm doing what I set out to do. But you slowly have that reckoning, I guess, that like I am in charge of this. And so, yeah, maybe I set this way so I had an idea of where I was going, but that's not the only way I can go. And
yeah,
so like they did a lot of true crime in the beginning and psychology kind of dive-ins and stuff. They still do that, but they also do a lot of stories from their listeners and
yeah,
just personal, like this is a personal struggle I'm going through, and so I'm going to share this is relevant to me and maybe it's going to be relevant to somebody else listening.
yeah,
And if it's not, catch us on the next one. But it's important to me, and
yeah,
I didn't have this resource. I had no idea what the fuck this was about. I've looked into this and I'm going to share it. At the end of the day, if I help somebody better their life or understand more of something even if it's just on an entertainment level.
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
Right. And maybe someone today will be inspired to like look into theirs and find something uplifting or just friggin' interesting, because that's always fun.
If the least it does is just gives you a little personal inspiration to keep learning or to dive into one of your own interests, numerology or not, how cool is that?
What's it from? At the end of the day, it is night.
I don't know what that's from, but I really love that.
I
I
can't remember where I heard it. They're like, at the end of the day, it is night.
totally straight faced. Well, thank you for letting me go off on this random path through numbers. I had so much fun.
I thought I had a lot of fun. I thought it was super interesting. This almost reminded me of one of Ash and Elena's like astrology,
Mhm.
mythology, symbolism, like deep dives. And those are always just so interesting and inspiring. So it was really cool to learn about this that I've never heard of before, those four different positions and how to calculate them. And definitely a cool journey that you brought us on today for your 33rd birthday.
Thank you. And we will have this out as soon as we're able to. It's been
Yes.
busy.
And if you were inspired to look up your own numbers, that is linked in the show notes. And so like leave us a comment, let us know what your positions were, or you don't have to share them all, even if you just want to share one that you thought really resonated with you or didn't resonate with you at all, and just
Mhm.
chat with us and share with us. We definitely love to hear from you guys.
Yes, please. That would be awesome.
Thank you. Bye.
Reach out to us at asthecrowflies.pod@gmail.com with any stories you want to share.
Okay, Desiree, time to be an idiot to make some people laugh.
I'm gonna get off. No. On another tangent. I'm gonna get off on a tangent. Let me finish that. God. We can't do this podcast anymore. We're done. This is it. We can't put this episode up. Um, stop making me look like a fool on my birthday. Just kidding. I love you so much. Hey, Weasel.